Hi, Hannah. Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Good. How are you? Thank you
Good,
for
good.
joining. We're just waiting a few more minutes to get people a chance to sign on.
No problem. We'll be here.
Walt. Who's Walt? Where's my waiting? Hi, Walt. Hi, Albert.
How are you?
Hi, Ann, can you hear me?
Good. How are you, Albert? Thanks for joining.
No problem.
A few more people. Walt is here. Mike is here. Hopefully a couple more people can join. I think we give it another minute or two. Walt, can you hear everyone?
Yeah. Yes, hi.
Hi. All right, well, do you think we should go ahead? Should we wait another minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't hold people up and we can go ahead and move forward. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Ann, for hosting the meeting for us. And I know you had to juggle quite a few things to be able to be here tonight, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I just had a couple more people. I think one of them is from the security company, so that's great. Shall we start off with the police?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You have any updates for us? Where are they? Lost the video. There we go.
How you guys doing? Can you hear us?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, we might have some technical difficulties because we're on a remote location, so our signal might come in and out, but I just want to say how you guys doing. I'm here with our crime prevention specialist, Rosa Fernandez. I know you guys requested her to join the meeting today, so she's here. She wants to see you guys and meet you guys today. So as far as Belle Meade, for the month, we just had that issue with the one car that was broken into, and they stole the handicap handicap placard from the vehicle. The car was left unlocked, unfortunately. But we are following up on that. We have information from another department that we might have the information on the offender. So we're waiting for the detectives to get back to us, but we have a good lead, and hopefully we catch you guys. So let's see.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other updates from you in terms of crime? It's been quiet?
And Belle Meade's been real good. We haven't had any issues, except for that issue with the car. That was it. That was looking, but besides that, we've been good.
That's wonderful. Well,
Okay,
do you have
great.
any questions?
Yeah, I just had a question.
Did everybody make it? Oh yeah. Go ahead, Walt.
No, I think you cut out. I wasn't for sure if Commander was here. I just wanted to say hello and thank you guys for being here. And you mentioned crime prevention. You might be able to have some tips for the neighborhood on that.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Rosa Fernandez. Our concern is to make sure you all are safe. So pretty much only thing I could reiterate more than anything, it's good that your area doesn't have any problems. However, we just need to remind you all to remove your belongings from the vehicle, lock your car up. If you're leaving your home, if you have anything of importance, you're going to the store or anything like that, we ask that you travel with a piece of ID, that one credit card, or the cash. Try not to walk with so many things, or if you have to walk with your purse, to put it in your trunk prior to leaving your home. So when you reach to the store or wherever you're going, you're not taking those things out, because those are the things that criminals and people who are looking for mischief are watching for. They watch your patterns, the doors. You want to check the different types of door locks, excuse me, your windows. I'm certified to do security surveys. So if you need safety tips on keeping your home safe, I could do a security survey. However, you have to go through Commander Brew because I work in 2 different areas. I cover the entire North District. But once you go through him, we'll be more than glad to come through and show you some tips, simple things that you may say, oh, you may not even think of. And it's common things that happen daily. So other than that, and just removing your belongings from the car, right down from the laptops, the cell phones, the purses, because those are the things that continues to happen in other areas. And it's always the residents say, oh, I just ran in my house for a minute. I left the purse on the seat, or I left the car running. And those are the times things are happening in that instance.
Okay, that's great. I think we can just get the information out to the neighbors that security surveys are available. Are there any flyers that you have, crime prevention flyers, maybe updated ones that you can share with us?
Yes, actually, she has been in the neighborhood, and if most of the neighbors have received these flyers, not only on their car, but also on their personal and their residence. So she's constantly out on the field, making sure that she educates everyone on how to better safeguard their belongings.
Great.
Also, I know that we coordinated with Albert from the net office. So he also provided an email to all the residents throughout Upper East Side, reminding everybody how to lock their cars, take their keys, and remove their belongings from their vehicle.
Got it. Okay, that's great.
Commander, we had one of the neighbors asking what's the best way to get the security survey? And is that through you, Albert, or both, or how would you prefer we route it?
Well, if you send me an email, I'll check with Rosa's availability and we'll get a schedule so that she can respond with what our NROs and they can meet the resident and they can conduct the survey together. If the resident isn't there, they can conduct it and leave the flyer or the information or all the recommendations on their door. And they can follow up on a later time when they're available.
Okay, I think Tracy, you should have heard that response, and that way you can email one of the board and we can forward it on to the commander so they can set you up for a survey. And that way everybody kind of understands what's going on. I'm hoping that'll work for you.
Thank you, Tracy. Hope to hear from you soon.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, everyone.
thank you. Thank you as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Okay, I think we can move on to Albert. Albert, do you have any updates for us?
No, I believe, I forgot who was it who emailed me regarding 801 Northeast 76th Street.
That's me in combination with another neighbor. Yep.
Okay, so that issue was sent into Code Inspector Hedge, so he'll follow up on it. I haven't seen him today, so I couldn't ask him. But when he comes to the office, I usually try and pick his brain to see, what certain issues are or whatever violations if a house received. So as soon as I get an update, I'll let you know. But it did go into 311 and it did go to him.
Perfect. Yep. Just so everyone knows, seems like someone is running some sort of a car rental business out of their homes in the neighborhood. Having cars parked in the street, washing cars, people in suitcases coming and going. And that's.
I did drive by there today and I noticed like 3 or 4 cars in the driveway and then 2 cars on the side of the sidewalk. And they were all different kind of cars.
That's right.
So
yeah. Yes. Okay. So thank you very much. And once you hear anything, if you can touch base with me or Mike directly, that's fine too. We really appreciate any kind of action on this.
no, I will. And then, like I said, I think I saw Walt at last week's Sea-Rise meeting. That was the last update in that area in terms of what's coming down the road. I mean, they brought up some good points. I don't know if anything will come about it because it is a 50-year window in there.
Mhm.
So I guess the next meeting they'll bring it up. I know myself and Commissioner Watts' office was there.
Perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to miss that meeting, but I believe some of our residents were there as well. So really appreciate everyone being involved.
I had a question. Will the board down the road be meeting in person, or will it still be through Zoom?
We anticipate meeting later in the year, possibly the November, December timeframe. For sure, December, we absolutely have to have our annual meeting, and we'll do that in person unless something changes drastically with the COVID situation. But I think we're on the right path to be able to do that. And I know we can have meetings at Legion now, so I would see in the next couple months, Albert.
All right, perfect. And if any other questions, anything that you guys see that's a little off, just let my office know, and we'll expedite it as quick as you can.
I have one question for you, Albert. One of our neighbors had emailed about a no dumping sign to be placed on above an electrical box on 72nd Terrace. I'm not sure if you received that.
No, I never received it. On top of an electrical box?
Yeah,
the thing,
apparently people have been dumping yard debris, I believe, continuously on top of sort of an electrical box. And then that has caused outages for street lamps. That's on 72nd Terrace. And,
oh, wow.
so they were hoping, the neighbor was hoping for a no dumping sign.
Well,
how do
they
we
don't
about getting
go,
rid of those?
they can't be placed on top of an electric or like any kind of pole or anything. They have to go into the ground. It's
That's
got to go
fine,
into the,
right.
into
We
the
just leave
soft
them
ground.
right
So,
there, yeah, because they're
yeah, so,
throwing debris on top of that electrical box. That's been the issue.
so if they can send me the address to that, and then I can go out there and look to see where it could be placed near the electrical box, so, you know, the ground, because it gets hammered into the ground. And the signs have been really effective. The new ones, let me know, and I'll take a look at it, take a peek at it.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'll look for that email. Thank you guys
Okay.
so much.
Yep, not a problem. Thank you for always being
Thanks.
very responsive.
Thank you. Thanks, Walt. Take care.
Thank you. All right, have
Bye-bye.
a good one.
Too. Okay, with that, our next topic is any updates, concerns from the neighbors. I just wanted to give a brief update on the fire truck on July 4th. I believe a lot of people saw Frank rolling through the neighborhood with his Japanese fire truck. And he decided not to submit any invoices for reimbursement because the expenses were minimal. So the HOA did not have any expenses associated with that, even though we voted on funding the event. He didn't submit anything because it was too minimal. So we thank Frank very much for doing that for the neighborhood and for the children. And that's in terms of what I have on my list. That's it. I know Deb contacted us about updating the bylaws, but that was a little last minute, so we would include that into the next meeting. Okay, does anyone else have any concerns that they want to address?
Weren't you, I thought I'd remembered that we were going to be introduced to the new security company at this meeting, but I guess
Yes.
that's not, or are we, oh, that's on the agenda?
It is possibly on the agenda. We don't have Matt here with us today, but I believe we have someone from the security company. The main guy from the security company is out of town, so would be able to join maybe next month or the month after. But I do believe we have someone on that we can introduce a little later on. At least he was here earlier. Oh,
Yes.
I see him.
There's a few of us on,
Hi.
actually.
Oh yeah, okay, Beatrice, now I'm starting to recognize the names, yes. So we can talk about that for a minute, that's fine. Walt, do you want to chime in?
No, I'll let Angel go ahead and start. I just like to, first of all, welcome you guys on board. I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'll let you guys go ahead and speak. And then if there's some questions or concerns that weren't addressed, then I can ask those. But I'll let you go ahead and first of all introduce yourself and
Okay.
And let the neighbors know what to expect from you guys.
Great. Well, I want to thank everyone who's on this call for welcoming us to this meeting. And I'll start by introducing myself and some of the other team members. Bill Murphy, who's our president, is on vacation. And my name is Angel Rosado. I am the vice president of operations. Bill Murphy and I have been working together over 30 years. So we are very familiar with special taxing districts over the history of our careers. So we're very humbled to have the opportunity to provide security services over at Belle Meade, very much so. I also have Juan Ortiz on the call, who is the account manager for the location. He also manages another special taxing district, North Bay Island, and another location that was a Miami-Dade County Special Taxing District, Hammock Oaks. It did get transitioned into a city of Coral Gables district, but he's still overseeing that. So he has a lot of experience in dealing with Miami-Dade County and the Miami Special Taxing Districts, the Special Taxing Districts requirements. We also have on the call Beatrice Moulet. Beatrice Moulet is our Director of Operations. And her role as Director of Operations, she also oversees all of our technology services for Security Alliance. She has been instrumental in working with the vendors that we're going to partner with and utilize for the tag recognition system that we're going to implement. We have been communicating with Matt on some of the needs that we have. So she's also on the call. And once again, I just on behalf of Security Alliance, I want to thank everyone for allowing us to have this opportunity at Belle Meade.
Can,
Go ahead, Deb.
would you be able to, I understand that one of the innovations that we'll be seeing is we're going to be having, is it license plate readers or video cameras that register license plates? Is that something that's included in our contract?
Yes, Beatrice, are you on?
Yes, I'm on the call.
All right, so Beatrice, if you could elaborate a little bit more on what exactly is inclusive into the equipment that we just purchased to Ms. Stander?
Yes, so we're going to be installing 3 cameras, one for the visitors lane, the entry lane for the visitors, the other one for the entry lane for the homeowners, and another one for the exit lane. And those cameras are going to be capturing the license plate of all the vehicles that are passing through. And we are going to be able to read that into the PlateSmart software. And we'll be able to send that data to, we're working to try and send that data to the Miami Police Department to tie that into their system so that, you know, if they're you know, looking for individuals with, you know, the license plate for various crimes or reasons, it's easier for them to know that they were there and on what day, what time, and try and, you know, apprehend them, you know, what they need to do.
Can I ask a question just to try to clarify my understanding? So are there 2 types of license plate readers? Because I for some reason I'd been under the impression that they were generally, as a general rule, connected to the police system, so that, for example, like if somebody drives in a stolen car, you know, that stolen car license plate would register immediately into the police database. And does that exist?
It exists, but it's not necessarily something that comes in with the system. We have to, you know, purchase additional licenses and make the connection. And the police department has to accept the data.
And is that something
in order for that
you're
to
going
happen.
is that something that is included in our contract, or that you're going to be trying to do?
Yes, it is part of what we're trying to accomplish. Hello, I'm sorry, could you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we can hear you.
we can anticipate that being done down the line?
That's something we
Yes.
requested, Deb, and I can speak to that. What
Okay.
we requested was a license plate reader program, and that's something that's going to be as part of the current security contract that we're doing, because this falls outside of the contract. So they're providing that as a service to us, and if we get something additional, then there may be an additional cost if they want to be able to provide that service. But right now, this is what's being provided under the current contract.
So we will for sure have equipment that will register every license, but it's not necessarily, we don't know yet whether it'll be hooked up to the police or not for instant identification.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, security, you can correct me if I'm incorrect, but that's my understanding.
Yes, we are still trying to, and I'm waiting for Bill to return from vacation so that we can sit down and talk and see who's the person from the police department that we can approach to start conversations about how we can link your system with their system. And that's what I'm waiting for.
We're still in the preliminary stages with the gathering of the equipment and working with Matt and on the required internet capabilities at the gatehouse for the connections to be fully installed. We went ahead and made the commitment, and we've also given half the monies to purchase all the equipment. Actually, a representative of the company who's going to install the equipment was at the community today just to confirm what was not in place in the gatehouse in regards to internet and connections. So he sent us a detailed email of what needs to happen. But at the time, once we get the equipment and the vendor is ready to install, we're going to announce the installation date with hope that all the internet connections that are required in the gatehouse will be there at the time of connection. So those are the communications that we're having at this time.
Angel, will you be able to provide us with a timeline as to when this is happening?
Yes, I'll work with Beatrice and our representatives to see when the equipment will come in. So we'll create the timeline where the equipment will come in and also when they can actually go in for installation. With the understanding again that once we make that announcement of installation, that all the internet connections need to be made at the gatehouse, otherwise we won't be able to proceed. So we'll prepare the timeline and forward it to everyone.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Yes, what is the name of this security company, please?
Security Alliances.
Security Alliances?
It's just Alliance.
Alliance.
It's okay. It's Security Alliance, ma'am. Yes.
Can you just spell the second word, please?
Yes, it's A, 2 L's, IANCE.
Alliant, all right.
Alliance.
He said AND, that would be N.
Alliance. Security Alliance.
That's not what he said.
IANCE.
C as in cat and E.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Could I ask one more question? So could you maybe summarize for us, what the main, I guess, differences are that you're offering to our community, as compared to our previous guard gate service?
I will try to answer this in the best I can. Again, special task districts are mandated by Miami-Dade County requirements to the access control. And we have to follow the law in regards to how we control the access there to the community. We were fortunate enough to being able to keep some of the incumbent security officers, actually all of them, that had been there before. Some that you've had, your day shift officers been there maybe 16, 17 years. We came in, I believe one of the biggest reasons why Belle Meade went with us is because of the the technology piece that like Walt mentioned, it's separate from the special taxing district that Security Alliance has made a financial commitment to implement this equipment for Belle Meade. This is how bad we wanted the opportunity to be a Belle Meade. So with the combination of our experience and you know, being fortunate to have these officers, the incumbent officers, and having this technology, I think, you know, and being hands-on, you're gonna have. I can't speak for Allied Universal, who's obviously the largest security company now in the nation, and I don't know how hands-on their leadership is. But you've heard Bill Murphy, the president, mentioned on here, and I'm the vice president, and you have the direct operations. I think if I had to mention one thing that's different between us and your previous vendors, that you're going to have the leadership, at the top tier leadership involved in the day-to-day operations closely, and that way you'll have, you know, be able to work closely with us, and if you have any concerns or issues, you'll be able to reach any of us at, you know, at any given time. So I think that makes us unique. We're not a very big company, but very small, but we're just the right size to be able to provide the necessary attention to the Belle Meade community.
Thank you, Angel. And Angel, you may be helpful if you explain to them the history with 50 states, how you guys were here before, and how it came to be that, you know, once you guys sold your company, you're back here. Because I think a lot of people think you guys are a new fly-by-night type company or something, but you guys have been with us since when we had these first guards 20 years ago. So if you can just explain that part of your history.
Sure. Well, so again, Bill Murphy and I, we started working together in 1988. I said 1988, so it's been a long time. And we were at 50 State Security. There was a time where Bill Murphy and I, we had all the special taxing districts in Dade County. But you know, with the county and different, the politics involved, things change. But at 50 State Security, for example, I was the account manager for all the special taxing districts in Miami-Dade County. I gave the training to the security officers, went over the material, went over the testing, worked hand in hand with a gentleman called Don Thompson, Don Thompson used to be in charge of all the special taxing districts. And then Bill Murphy and I came over to Security Alliance in 2004. So we've been here 17 years. We have loved to be able to get more special taxing districts, but as you know, it's a bidding process. We are certified to be able to provide special taxing district services to any location in Miami-Dade County. So we do have a long-standing history with special taxing districts, both Bill Murphy and I, and Juan and Beatrice have now been working with us each close to 15 years. So you know, we, like Walt said, we do have a lot of experience with the special taxing districts. We've been involved in these type of communities for 30 plus years now.
Angel, I have a question. What happened to 50 states? Do you own that still, or you changed its name? Why isn't it 50 states anymore?
Well, Bill Murphy and I left 50 states. 50 states was still in existence. The owner of the company, his name was Ted Kretschmar. I was the director of operations, 50 state, and Bill Murphy was the senior vice president. 50 State Security recently was purchased by U.S. Security Associates, and then Allied Universal actually bought U.S. Security Associates. So now 50 State Security no longer exists. They do have a technology division. Say again?
How old is Alliance?
Security Alliance started in 2001.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? No? Okay. And we thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
For attending this meeting. We do look forward to.
I have another question. Is there any way of contacting the guard gate when you see something that's a problem. There's never there. It's like they can't do anything, the security.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to jump in and start answering questions.
I think
about-
I can speak to that. First of all, I think we need to explain that the security guards are limited with what they can do by the county. Technically, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that they're only there to assist with recording the tags and providing assistance or make an emergency call if someone doesn't have the ability to do that. If there is an issue where it's a security issue, the resident should be contacting the police. Angel, would that be accurate or?
Yes. And again, we're more than glad to if say a resident pulls up and they say they saw something suspicious, then yes, our officer will work hand in hand with we have a 24-hour dispatch center. We have field supervisors out on the road that we can communicate with either our dispatch center directly with the police, with the field supervisors, maybe just to make an inquiry as to maybe something suspicious. But anything regarding, criminal activity, active criminal activity, that's something that the police should be contacted immediately. But we could definitely be a buffer and help communicate that to the police. But like Walt mentioned, I mean, if you see something that you feel like it's it's a property or life is in danger, I definitely recommend that you contact the police immediately.
Okay. And the police patrol that drives around once in a while, are they regulated by you or by just separately from the police?
That's police.
Yeah, any police patrols that goes into the community will be obviously overseen by the police department's command. Maybe some of the representatives that were on the call when I first got on. But no, that will be a totally separate from Security Alliance's function.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Security Alliance? If not, then thank you very much again. We hope to see you again in future meetings. We hope to move things along in terms of the technology, and I've been seeing all the emails back and forth, so I appreciate all the work and the communication that goes back and forth. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for having us.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Are there any other concerns from neighbors to be discussed for tonight? Otherwise, we can move on to the update from the board. Okay. We just spoke about security update in detail. I can give a quick update on the beautification and plantings. Many may have heard and seen that the trees on 8th Avenue have been planted. Looks very nice. They're very mature. I want to plant more trees in the neighborhood, but that'll be for another time. And then finally, we have landscaping on 77th Street barricade. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. That's had been gone for 10 years or so. And now we have a new privacy hedge that's also quite mature. So that's been great to finally have that accomplished. Financial update. Mike, are you able to give a financial update?
Yeah, not much has really changed. We have $979 in the PEP fund and $52.90 in the general fund. We had a few more members since last month. We exceeded our last year's membership by 10 memberships and $220. And the stray fund, we're 12 members short of last year and $433. So yeah, we're sitting well right now. The Frank's ice cream truck since he didn't need money, that's put us in a good situation.
Right.
So yeah, I think we're doing well. We're waiting on 2 large T-shirts that we don't have any right now, but all the other shirts have been delivered, and I'm not
Is
sure
it
if we're gonna
something that's in
order them or not.
progress? Has that been ordered, do you know?
No, we haven't decided if we want it. I don't think I didn't, I guess, put it up for a vote, but we need to vote on that and see if we still want to pursue that program. If
I
it,
think a while ago, yeah, we talked about that, we needed to see costs for that. Perhaps we can, follow up with
Well,
Matt. I think
yeah,
he's got that
he-
contact.
he had
Can
ordered.
you do that? Can you follow up with Matt?
Mhm.
To see if he can get a quote so that we can then, maybe next meeting, put that to vote. to see
Okay.
if we Order more shirts.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
I'm not sure who I asked this to. Could you tell us how many members the association has at this
Sure.
point?
It has 131 members
Okay,
and 20 stray donation members.
20 what?
Stray animal donation members.
Oh, I see. In other words, 20 people who donate to the pet fund, or,
Yeah, we renamed it Stray Fund, but yeah,
oh, the stray fund. Okay, so 130?
131.
131. Oh, okay. Take a note of that.
We have 19 here.
Have you finished the spaying and neutering that you were trying to do with the pets? With the cats?
I don't know if it'll be ever finished.
Oh.
Just because, there's cats that are hard to catch. I am in the process of updating the pet memo that we have, the pet fund memo that the HOA has in place that basically talks about, what the pet fund can be used for. And I'll be updating that with some contact information for some people that have agreed to either lend traps or perform the trapping or also do the transporting. So we'll be adding some more resources to that memo for the neighbors to utilize. Yes, Debbie.
So this sort of brings me to, and we certainly, I'm not going to insist that we discuss it at this meeting, but brings me to a point that I'm concerned about, and that is that, a lot of decisions, contrary to the way we always acted in the past, it seems that now a lot of things like changing a pet fund policy or something are being done by board members without actually, getting input from the community or allowing the community, the actual membership, to participate in potential discussions and even a vote on, how we want that policy to change and,
I don't think
requirements,
that's
for
accurate.
example.
no.
So this is a big concern, and this is why I have been wanting to raise the issue of amending our bylaws, because up until now, these decisions were never taken simply by the board. They were always.
Okay, Deb, you understand the process. If there's an issue that you want to raise specifically
but I
with the
don't-
animal fund,
well-
no, hold on a minute.
Okay.
That you know the process. That needs to be brought up as an agenda item. We'll address it as agenda item. We as a board have voted, created a policy, and that's what we're working off, the policy that we created as a board. Obviously, there are going to be things that pop up that fall outside the realm of what we decided as a board, and it requires specific action. And that's what we've done. And we're not going to be here apologizing, saying that we have not worked with the community, because that's inaccurate. And I'm not going to allow you to push forward that agenda, because that's not accurate.
Excuse me.
I would also like to add, Debbie, there was no pet fund memo or protocol in place. We basically created that and this goes back a year or more, so that we have something consistent in place, and it was discussed and voted for at a meeting. And it was sent out to all the members and the neighbors and I've never heard any objection to that. We've, refunded people for their expenses based on that memo. Go ahead.
Right, but what you're saying is you're going to make changes to it now, and
No,
the changes.
Nope. We created the pet fund. Oh, no, I'm only adding resources. I'm only adding resources in terms of people's names and numbers. That's all I'm doing. We're not changing amounts of money. It's a memo that acts as, here's how we refund and how much we refund or donate toward expenses. And here are resources that you can use if you have a stray animal. And those resources are contact information for shelters, as well as people that have offered to help with trapping.
Okay, and so that sounds reasonable. I'm just, again, concerned that before we as a community are given the opportunity to address what our rights are, because obviously you guys on the board know your rights, but we in the community, the members, now somehow or other, there's a lot of confusion about what our rights are, then the degree to which we are entitled.
I think we're going to move on to the next agenda item. We have been through this before, and we're not going to spend the whole. And you can go ahead and mute her, and we can move to the next item.
Voted for us, the board, Debbie. The board is your rights. We, like Congress, all the citizens don't vote on everything.
That's why you have a board.
The board is the neighborhood representative, and we vote.
That's right.
You were on the board. You know how that works, right? You don't go door to door and ask 390 homes or what they think on every issue. That's what the board is for. Otherwise, we could just put it out on the Google group to.
Debbie, you're muted. I'm not sure if you're trying to speak, but you're muted. And Debbie, if I may say something, if you're on the board, I didn't know you were on the board, but if you are on the board of directors, this is a conversation that you should have at the board level, when they meet, right?
She's not.
She's not a current board member. She used to be in previous years. Yeah. So let's move on. We got infrastructure. So good news is that gate on 77th Street was finally repaired. And I believe they did maintenance on the other gates. If anyone ever sees any of the gates malfunctioning, please let me know directly, and I can communicate to the city. But they were supposed to be looking at all the gates and maintaining them all. As far as the pump station goes, I know there was some concern because of the way they're working on the valves. I confirmed that the pump station is in working order currently, even though those valves are exposed, and they need to do work on it. But it's currently in working condition. And also they are working on the noise enclosure for the pump station generator, and I think they found a vendor, and it's just a matter of I think getting the equipment and installing. So hopefully that will be happening in the near future as well. And then the speed bumps on 76th Street, we're still waiting on, again, should be imminent. We're also waiting on another speed study to be done in the neighborhood to address other areas where there's speeding going on. And but that has to go through all the bureaucratic process. It has to get approved. They have to find money for it. It has to get approved. So, but hopefully that's something that we can get down the line and perhaps get more speed controlling measurements in the neighborhood. And lastly, I think FPNL. Walt, is there an update that you can provide?
Yeah, I spoke to that.
You're hard to hear.
Can you hear me?
Very, very quietly.
Okay, let me see if I can raise my volume here. Okay, I spoke with Janet Blanco, who is a representative for.
You're very hard to hear, Walt. I'm sorry. Can you get
I
closer
don't
to
know
the
why
microphone?
it doesn't want to work. Anna, did you mute? Okay, are you hearing me better now? I'm gonna bring it up as I can. Are you hearing me now?
Very quiet.
All right, and as you're. Can I speak from here? All right, I'm gonna speak from Hannah's house.
Walt, are you able to?
Okay, Ann, how about now? Can you hear me?
Much better, much better. Yes, thank you.
Are you muted, huh? Ann, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I spoke with Janet Blanco, who is our representative from FPNL, and this is going to be strictly to address the overhead power supply, which are the lines. They have completed, they have this broken up in 4 different sections. The first section is on 72nd Street, which is actually goes into Bayside, and then on 72nd Terrace, which is on the south side of the street. All of that overhead line project was completed on July 9th. So they should be 100% up and running. And that includes new transformers, new power lines, everything. On 72nd Terrace and 73rd Street, they ran into a roadblock, which I explained to most of the neighbors last week. They had some issues with some neighbors who were restricting access and or preventing FNL from doing work on their properties. I think those issues have been resolved, and they gave me a 2 to 3 week completion date for 72nd Terrace, 73rd Street, 76th Street, and 77th Street. The only item that's pending is 73rd Street on the south side and 74th Street. That expected completion is by Friday of next week.
That's great.
As far as the underground power, they can't speak to that, or at least Grace can't. I mean, I'm not Grace, but Janet can't. She is gonna speak at our next meeting, at our August meeting. That's gonna be a big meeting. She will be there to address all the overhead power issues in Belle Meade. At that point, everything should be 100% up and running. And if there are issues, that's when the neighbors need to address that. She will also have representatives that are working with the underground power unit. They will be there to answer residents' questions because they're divided into different units, and she will not be able to speak to the underground power situation. And
Well, I'm sorry, but the Zoom went out and I heard you say 72nd and 73rd Street, but what were you speaking about, please?
on 72nd Terrace and 73rd Street,
Yeah, what is FPL doing?
they are upgrading all the overhead power. That means that if the transformer, this is part of a comprehensive project. It started with them doing the tree trimming. Then they had drones and a site survey where they identified any of the poles that were failing, any of the transformers that need to be replaced, any of the power lines that need to be replaced.
When did they do tree trimming?
They have been doing tree trimming since October in different increments and as they were going street by street.
I don't know what street they're on, but they've never come to my house.
Okay. You feel free to email me and I will have them take a look at your property. But it's my understanding that they've gone street by street on every single property and identified any properties that needed to be trimmed for the power lines.
Okay, well, my house backs up to other properties, but in Hurricane Wilma, the entire electric pole fell down in my yard, and I never even moved back here until 5 years later.
Okay, by chance, do you know if your power pole was replaced? Because a lot of that was if your pole was
But-
replaced during that time period.
You mean lately, Walt, lately?
No, in the last hurricane, you mentioned, was your power
I
pole
said
replaced?
Hurricane Wilma, that was in October of 2005.
2005, okay, then that probably should have been updated, but I'm not sure, but I'll point
Of
you
course it
to
was
the right
replaced.
person.
I
And
have
they'll
electricity.
be able to address that.
I don't know what your email is.
It's belmeadboard@aol.com.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, and I hope you guys heard me on everything else, but as far as I explained, within the next 3 weeks, they plan to have all the overhead power replaced and up and running. And if there are any issues, please email the board. I will forward that to FP&L to address it before the next meeting in August, because in August they will be prepared to present and tell you 100% what's been done in Belle Meade, what's pending, which should be nothing, based on the conversations and the updates that I've gotten from FP&L so far.
Are they ever going to put in underground, or was that just a fantasy?
Again, that's going to be an issue you're going to need to address with the underground power supply. We, and when I say we, the board got information that in lieu of doing the underground power, they were going to be doing some upgrades for the overhead power, and if select streets were going to be giving the underground power under a pilot project, and we have no control over those projects that they're doing, and you're going to have to address those issues within FP&L point persons that they'll have at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be very useful to hear it from FP&L directly, what
Really?
their plan is with the underground power. We had a meeting with them, close to 2 years ago, and they had plans for half of the neighborhood and not plans for the other half of the neighborhood. And I'm not sure if that has changed, or Deborah, I see your hand. I remember seeing your email, and
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you. Yes, I
Was
called
that
up.
someone from the Public Service Commission that you spoke with, or someone from FP&L?
It was someone from FP&L's team that is directly involved with the underground project for Belle Meade and is very familiar with it. I was referred to her by the Public Service Commission. That's how I ended up talking to her. And in the email that I sent out to everybody, I provided her phone number so that anybody who had any doubts about what she told me could call her. So what she told me was, we're fine, we're good to go. Everything was fine. They got all the signatures they needed. And the only reason that it hasn't been, the program hasn't been rolled out here is that they have a pretty extensive waiting list of communities that are scheduled to get these underground cables. So she apologized. She said she couldn't tell me when it would happen because she simply didn't have that information, couldn't provide that information. She said that in December of every year, FPL takes a look at the communities that are on the list, and it decides at that time which communities are going to be next, which are the next in line, and we'll be getting them. So she again apologized. She asked me to hope that we can be patient, but we're definitely on the list. We don't have to do anything else. Everything is in order. And she said, we'll know when they are going to come into our community because they'll send each and every homeowner a notice, telling us that they're going to need access to our properties. So we will definitely be receiving advance notice. But that was the explanation for why it has not yet happened. It's simply a long waiting list, and they are they're choosing whoever goes first on some basis that she is not able to tell me about or anybody else about.
But they came around years ago and gave out booklets and information. It was at least a year ago
That's
saying
right.
that we're going to do this. I have a whole brochure in a
And Patty,
bin.
that's why we have asked FPNL to come here and speak with us directly, because
Thank
you
you.
will be hearing from the people that run the program. The lady that Deb mentioned, she will be there. Also, her supervisor will be there, and you will get answers, because this fairy tale that we will get the power eventually has been since day one. Actually, on day one, they told us that we were not going to get the power. We didn't have a choice. That's the way it was going to be. And after we went to Public Service Commission, then we got the fairy tale that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And now when they come there in August, you can hear from the horse's mouth exactly what to expect and how we're going to get there. Because when they told us that, my push on the board was to get us something now, because people were having power going out every day. So what we did was move forward with the overhead power project until they can fix this underground or provide this underground. But in the meantime, we needed to have reliable power. And that's why we went with Janet Blanco and moved forward with the decisions that we made with that team. So next month, you'll get to ask your questions from FPL with the underground power people.
Is that the person that's going to be here, Janet Blanco?
No, Janet will be here in addition to the two team leaders from the underground power unit.
Okay. It's not like this is a new neighborhood. Their house is in here from the 30s.
All right, and that's all I had.
Yep. I want to make sure not to ignore Chloe, who had her hand raised. Chloe, was there something you wanted to discuss?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to say about the cat thing. If anyone has any questions or anything like that, I can answer them now about the ongoing cat capturing situation.
No, I asked if it was finished. That's all. But I guess not.
Hey, Chloe, I just wanted to say thank you. And also just to let you know, I'm not sure if yesterday there was a young girl that was walking around the neighborhood taking photographs of cats. I'm not sure if she was working with you or if there's someone else working independently, but just wanted to let you know of that.
No, I don't know, but yeah, that's great. I mean, I encourage everyone to help up as much as possible. A lot of this stuff can be done by neighbors who have cat traps. So yeah.
There are two different groups going on. So you can explain that, Anne, like who the women are that hired the professional cat people. Maybe they can speak up to the progress of their initiative.
So there's a couple of people. I think one of them lives in the neighborhood and two are from outside the neighborhood that basically offered to help any neighbor to trap cats, transport cats, if they had stray cats in their yard.
No, I meant the person that's charging, the professional, that the homeowners organize their own.
Right, so she is no longer charging. I don't know what's going on, but she's no longer charging. It's another cat trapper that has been very involved in, I think, Miami Beach cat trapping, and she helped someone on 72nd that had a cat and kittens. But it's basically turning into, you know, whoever has a cat problem can contact her or other people that have offered in the past. This will be on the pet memo that I will be circulating. Simply resources for people to utilize if they have a problem with a stray cat in their yard or wherever, and they need help trapping them, transporting them, whatever it might be. Here's the resources. You can use whoever you want. We don't dictate that. We don't,
I was talking to homeowners that broke up what Chloe was doing and said they were going to do it on their own regarding the bulk cats that are at the abandoned house. What happened to that group that was going to pay the professional $25?
Yeah, it's at an abandoned house.
I think you're talking about Chloe.
No, the other lady, older ladies that decided to not use her anymore.
I don't know.
Is this on
Well, we
74th
never really did hear what happened there, and I'd like to hear it. I certainly kind of thought Chloe got the fuzzy end of the lollipop there because she was relying on being able to get $600, and then suddenly and I never understood why that was withdrawn. So it'd be
Well,
nice to hear what happened.
Some other animal rights people wanted to go in a different direction, and it looks like they lost their momentum, and now nobody's doing anything about it.
But
I
when you
am
promise
still
somebody
trapping at the
$600,
moment.
And Chloe's still doing it because she's been getting private funds from other people. But
I'm just not able to do it. Like before, I took a month off from work to do this, and that's why I needed the donations to be able to do that, and also to pay for the bills of cats. And
yeah, I know you, but I was talking about a group that wanted to take over. They seem to have
I don't know
disappeared.
what group you're talking about, Mike.
The one with the $25 a person,
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't. part of it.
You're misunderstanding. That
No,
was a trapper.
that professional for 25 net.
She's not a
per cat.
professional. She's another person, just like there's so many people. I used someone 3 years ago that basically helped me
It was-
drive my cats to,
The message I had was it was a professional.
no.
It was $25. They took them and brought them back. It doesn't seem realistic, but that's what, after everything blew up with Chloe, that's what it came back. I mean, because I was prepared waiting for these $25 a cat and never got a receipt or anything. So
Right,
now-
because she decided not to utilize any HOA funds. We have the pet fund, and anyone that has a stray cat and needs to bring them to a clinic
Oh,
to,
we get that. I was just talking about the group that
there
was
is no
so
group.
upset 2 months ago.
There is
Maybe,
no
I don't know.
group.
I know it was some
know.
older women that were upset about it.
There are now 3 additional individuals outside of Chloe, who is well known to the neighborhood. She's on the email group, she's on the chat group. Everyone knows about Chloe. I'm sure anyone can contact Chloe if they have a cat issue and work with her directly. There's 3 more people.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about 3 other ones that seemed to be like they were going to run with it. And
Separate people, Mike.
Mike, you appear to have some insight, and I'd be more than happy to have a sidebar with you. Maybe you can bring me up to speed on some things I'm not familiar with. It was just a couple issues with the current situation that made me uncomfortable. And part of that is the board is not supposed to be paying board members, and it was starting to get kind of close, whether they were board members working for the board, associated with the board, and I didn't want us to be in that situation. So I'd love to have a sideline with you.
Curious. No, I mean,
And then we can bring something back to the table if you think that there's something better.
I'm just wondering what happened to all this momentum. It was so virulent for 3 weeks about all the cat drama, and then it just died down, and I never heard. Last I heard is there was a group that was gonna take the 15 cats at $25 each, and then I was curious what happened.
Well, where did you hear that? Are you talking
And
about?
I guess it was the board stuff, so I mean, it was privileged, so. It
It's
was,
not privileged. That's the whole thing,
Yeah.
that point I've been trying to make. This stuff isn't
It is
privileged.
not
We
privileged.
don't run our association behind the scenes.
But first of all, that Deb, until we put it out, it is privileged, because there are things that happen within board discussions that never see the light of day, because we never make a decision on it. When things are being discussed, they're just being discussed. When we make a vote or to do something with association money, that's different. But if someone has an idea and that idea never comes to fruition, then I don't think we need to be putting it out there for.
It depends. It depends. If you're gonna start a new policy.
And then here's what I would suggest. Come December, there's going to be an opportunity for a brand new board. I, for one, will not be a part of the new board. I'm going to be resigning and my time is going to be done. The whole community needs to think about brand new board members for this association. And I would suggest that's the time, because a lot of the things that you're asking us to do is going to tie the hands of a new board, and I won't be a part of that. You will have a new
Actually, no,
board.
what all I'm asking us to do is to have a discussion about it. That's all. Let's have an honest discussion about what's happening, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, and what we want going forward. That's all I want to do.
Discuss
I
that
just
with the
wanted
board.
to continue what I was saying about at least my project that I'm working on with cats.
Right.
It is ongoing. It's just slower now that I have to work full time. So it has to take, whenever I have time off, I do it. And yeah, there should be, at least at the end of 74th Street, there's about 10 cats that still need to be fixed. And yeah, like I got 18 cats fixed 2 years ago, and this time I've got another, I think 19 cats caught. So it is kind of an ongoing thing because, new people come into the neighborhood and abandon cats, or their cats aren't fixed. But at least for the 10 cats that still remain that I personally know are strays, I'm still working on getting them fixed. But yeah, I'm open to as much help as possible because, like I said, I don't have as much time right now.
Hi, Chloe. I can take a few cats to get neutered if you want.
Oh, that would be great. I don't have any right now that I have at my home, but I will be starting I'm gonna start using drop traps on the 20th, I believe it is, like the 20th, next Tuesday. I'm gonna start trapping more, and it's gonna be like, I have time off work, so I'm gonna be able to trap a lot in about a week, starting on the 20th. And that'd be great if you could help me out with transporting.
Chloe, you started with taking photographs of the cats. Do you have like an inventory of which ones? And the 10 cats that you said are on 74th Street, and the reason I'm asking is because I'm on 74th Street. Are those kittens that were released, or what 10 cats are you talking about?
10 cats that still need to be fixed. I don't have pictures of them because they would be pretty blurry pictures because I can't get close to the cats unless I have them trapped, and I haven't been able to trap them yet. So there's about 10 cats that still remain, and I have about 19 cats that I've caught so far. And I have that on an Instagram that I have posted all of the catalog of cats that I've caught so far.
And are those kittens? Are those included kittens? Is that
no?
Cats?
I've gotten all the
adults?
kids. Yeah, they're adults, unless another cat is pregnant and there's going to be kittens in the next week or something. Yeah. I'm only thinking of the adult cats that remain right now. All the kittens have been adopted out.
Awesome. And have you met your goal of $2,500 on GoFundMe?
Yeah, I have. It's been really great. Since there was that issue with the HOA not honoring their decision of giving me or refunding me up to $600. So that's kind of why I started the GoFundMe at such a high level, because I wanted to make sure that I would be covered in case, things were unreliable.
Well, if I may say something to that, because I'm a witness, right? I think you started the GoFundMe page way before the Homeowners Association, asked you or approved $600. But you know what? I'm really happy that you reached your goal, $2,500. You should be really proud of yourself. I also want to give out a shout out to Catherine Pooler, who had a stray cat that gave birth to some kittens, and she took it upon herself to take care of those kittens and also that mommy cat that needed to be fixed. So I also want to give it a shout out to our neighbor. She lives on 72nd, like on 6th and 72nd. So I want to give it a shout out to every neighbor, not just, Catherine, every neighbor that's contributing and doing the right thing to take care of the little stray cats that come to their doors.
I appreciate that, Grace. And that's what I just wanted to clarify one more time. You know, there's 350 neighbors in this neighborhood and people have cats showing up. I had a cat showing up in my yard 3 years ago and I needed to trap her. I didn't have traps. I found someone next door who helped me, you know, gave me a trap and helped me transport the cats back and forth. And I paid her, you know, $25 per cat for this particular, you know, setup. That was strictly between me and her. And so
Yeah, it's
there's other
amazing.
people in the neighborhood that have the same issue, you know, Kathy Pooler is her name, right? Was one of them,
Yeah.
and there's others. And it will never end. We can just try our very best to keep on top of it as best as possible. And that's why, you know, we updated the pet fund, or I will update that and send that out to everyone so that there is resource for people, anyone in the neighborhood who needs help, not just with cats, but also, you know, they might find a dog that's injured or something like that.
No, this has been great. It's been a great neighborhood effort, and you know, and I thank everybody involved in it.
Yeah, and if I might add something, I'm not sort of expressing my concerns and asking questions about what happened as a disinterested observer. I contributed. I gave Chloe $100 because I supported her GoFundMe effort. For me, I understood that she was only going to get reimbursed by the pet fund later when she submitted receipts, and she needed something to get started with. So she didn't know off the bat how much money she was going to get. She didn't know that we have a very generous community and a lot of people pitched in. So from my point of view, when I heard suddenly that, wait a moment, things have changed, you know, she's not getting 600, and then people were upset. I wanted to know what had happened because I contributed. I'm a contributor and I was a supporter. So those of us who supported Chloe and were involved in this, all of us, we had a right to ask questions and to get an explanation for what had happened. Now, I think, Anne, what you're suggesting is creating a whole list of resources. It sounds like a very good idea to me. But again, you know, the only point I'm trying to make is I get concerned when things are going on behind the scenes that none of the rest of us know about, that only certain individuals know about, who are communicating behind the scenes. And to my belief and knowledge, that's not really how our association is intended to run.
Point
So,
well taken, Deb.
I would like to speak a little bit on that. Regarding just to clear things up with the timeline. I believe it was 2 meetings ago, HOA meetings ago, the cat issue was brought up by, I believe, Amy and Roberta. And I took that as a really good positive, and that other people were seeing the issue that I've been dealing with. And I decided to, you know, tell the board that I would be willing to help and to provide my services if I was being compensated, because I did have to take like a month off of work. I know from past experiences that it takes a very long time to organize this. And it's not just so much trapping and transporting. That's the really easy part. The hard part is fostering and organizing. Fostering is a full-time thing. You know, I couldn't take weekends off. You know, I had to go and take care of them every single day. I had to give them medicine multiple times a day. It's a full-time thing. So after that meeting on Tuesday, there was a discussion at the doggy park about the situation, the cat situation as well. And I told everyone there my plan and how I was thinking about going about it. And I got a lot of feedback from people saying, you know, while you're waiting for the HOA to contact you about how much money they could give, you should get started right away. You should ask for donations right away. And I think Grace was one of those people that even told me like, hey, like, go get started. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I should start some way that people can give donations, because however much the HOA could give me, it may not be enough. There may things that they couldn't give me at all. Yeah, and I was planning on giving back whatever I made over from the GoFundMe to the HOA as well. So I would be keeping a full expenses and give anything that didn't go to the cats and didn't go to my time back to the GoFundMe, back to the HOA so they could put it in their pet fund. So as things progressed, the HOA did get back to me and told me that they would be able to give me $600 that would be allocated to the pets or to the cats. I did turn down, they did offer me $25 for my time per cat caught. And I turned that down, and I told them that I would rather have it be $50 per cat expense, up to $600. So as time progressed and I was doing things, I asked the HOA to pay for a large pet bill, and they told me to take it out of the GoFundMe first and to use all the expenses I had, all the donations that I had in the GoFundMe first. After that was done and I did deplete everything out of the GoFundMe at the time, I still had some leftover bills that I needed to pay for the kittens to be fixed. And at that point, when I asked if I could send receipts, they told me that they would be not honoring the agreement. I got the donations later on from other people when I told them about this. So at this point, I'm not taking any more donations, and I don't have anything else to pay. And I gave a $300 donation to Pretty Kitty Rescue from anything left over from my GoFundMe. And Pretty Kitty Rescue, it's Deborah Pagiano, who has been helping me with the kittens, and she does a lot for the community, as in like around her area and just all over Miami. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that summary.
And
Okay.
again, why did the HOA fail to honor the $600 that it promised Chloe?
Okay, first of all, I'll take on some of that, Deb. It seems like you have an issue with every single thing the association does.
I do.
But of course, but the reason why we did this is because there were some things that were done that made me feel uncomfortable as president, and ultimately it lands on my shoulders. One of the first things was when she first approached us, I was not familiar or aware that she had a GoFundMe to sponsor this project. The other thing is when there were animals captured, I was told that people were constantly getting calls saying that although she volunteered to deal with the animals and catch them and take them to the shelter and everything, that wasn't being done. Neighbors were being called to do that. And one of the other things that came up was people wanted to adopt the animals and they were not able to be adopted locally. I think it's crazy that the association is going to be sponsoring and putting up money, and the same animals that are being taken from the neighborhood cannot even be adopted by people within the neighborhood. I didn't feel comfortable with that. And that's when me and we had some conversations where we told her to go ahead and utilize her other funds. And I wanted to pull the association away from there because I didn't want any taint or any issues or feedback regarding how the association was managing our money.
Excuse me. So, well, again, you decided behind the scenes.
Okay, yeah, and that's what a board does. Deb, that's what a board does.
No, it doesn't.
They don't go out and ask for all, like you said, all 390 people to make a decision about the board.
And that's not what I'm suggesting. Don't twist things, Walt.
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying the association. If there was a problem, we actually had a meeting right about the time the problem came up. Why didn't we discuss this? Why didn't we discuss this at a meeting? Because I think what Chloe did was perfectly fair. She did a GoFundMe. Hey, it was successful.
Then
I've had money. I've been reimbursed.
You like.
I've been
I
reimbursed.
didn't feel comfortable with it.
I'm
I'm the
not a
president,
pauper.
you're the president, and you can make that decision. When
No,
you're on the
no,
board, you can
no.
make that
You
decision. The
don't
board-
have the right to
Okay.
make decisions behind the scenes. We have a board.
Okay, I think we need to.
I'm sorry, could I just respond to Walt real quick?
Sure, and Chloe, just so you understand, I have nothing but the ultimate respect for you. It's just that some things were not clear, and with the board, it has to be very clear and very transparent. And I didn't want to have those issues.
I'm sure. And that's one of the reasons why I did put out in all my emails and all of my messages and for the group chat that, you can contact me anywhere. And I try to explain things as much as possible, but I totally understand there is confusion. There are other people coming with different stories. So for the first thing that you talked about is me asking other people for help. I did ask for help. I made that very clear that I would need help transporting cats and checking for cats and traps and fostering. And I did get a lot of help from that. I'm really grateful from all the people that did help me check traps and fostering pets and help me drive, because I don't have a really big car, so I can't really fit that many cats and traps in my car. So I had help from other people doing that. So that's one thing. The other with the adoption of pets, or adoption of the cats out to neighbors. It's not true that I didn't want to adopt cats out to neighbors, because I did. And there's one cat, there were two at the beginning, 2 cats that were going to be adopted out by Teresa Pinto. It's 1 cat now because the other sadly passed away. But she did adopt 1 cat, Melina, and she's doing very well. She's about to get fixed in a couple days. But the issue that I believe that you're speaking about is with Courtney and how she was upset that I did not let her adopt a cat.
There was also another neighbor that I think was interested in fostering to adopt and
Yes,
wasn't able to.
Yeah, that was Jennifer, I believe, right? Yes. So I can speak quickly about Courtney. So I asked for fosters, and she immediately came to me and said that she wanted to adopt the white kitten. She's like a little Siamese kitten. She's very cute. And I said, oh my God, that's great. The thing is that she does have a brother that they're very bonded. And that is just something that it happens. There's 2 kittens that they're bonded, and I didn't want to separate them, especially since they still need to be fostered at that point, because they still needed to be the correct weight to get fixed. So she fostered them for about 5 days. And during those 5 days, she fostered the white kitten and its brother for she agreed to do that. I did tell her that there are other kittens for adoption that would be adopted out as a single, and she could do that. But she said, no, she'll take both. So during the 5 days, she messaged me saying that she just didn't want that cat's brother. And I said, okay, do you want to try it out a little bit longer? And she said, okay. So after the 5 days, I told her, hey, I need to pick up the cats because they have an appointment to get fixed tomorrow. So I need them to drive them up. And she said, okay. When I went to her home, she handed me 1 cat and said that she wanted to keep the other. And I said, okay, we can discuss that, but I need both cats because I personally need to get them fixed. It's something that every rescue will do. They never adopt out cats before they're fixed and vaccinated and all that. And I've been a foster parent. I've worked with many different rescues all over Miami. They never adopt out cats or dogs without being fixed first. So I told her, you know, well, we can discuss it, but I need to take him to get fixed tomorrow.
But why
Said,
did they need
"No,
to
I'll
get
do
fixed so early, Chloe? Can you just explain that to me, why they need to get fixed so early as opposed to waiting till they're older and you can, you know, they can be pretend strays and be ear clipped and be fixed for free?
I'm a little confused by that question. I chose to get the kittens fixed early because if they were not fixed, they could not be adopted out. They had to be fostered. That's why we do it earlier, because the longer they're being fostered, the more expensive, the more time consuming it is. So once they're fixed, then it's on the owner. It's, you know, they can get
Right.
adopted.
And then, so
So-
that was not an option for whoever wanted to adopt. And I'm not just talking about Courtney, I'm talking in general, because there was, you know, also Jennifer.
No, yeah, Courtney, I did tell Courtney that I wanted to get her adopted. Or, I mean, sorry, I wanted to get her fixed first. I did tell her that. Courtney said that she's fine adopting her and getting her fixed herself, paying it for it herself. And I told her that I appreciate it, but, you know, I need to be able to make sure that she gets fixed. I can't be, you know, texting Courtney months from now being like, hey, did you get her fixed? Did you get her fixed? Because unfortunately, even that people say that they're going to do something, it doesn't really happen. And as being, you know, in this rescue community, that's something that you see a lot. People say they're going to do something, get the cat fixed, do something, and it doesn't happen. So since I was responsible for the animals, it was very important for me to get that cat fixed before she was adopted out. She argued with me quite a bit about giving the cat back, and she really seemed like she wasn't going to give it back to me. She shut the door in my face a few times. And at that point, I was really worried that she was not going to give the cat back to me. So I told her, you know, the cat is Patty's cat. It's legally Patty's. This is not the Patty that was on the call. This Patty's cat. And then I also told her that the HOA like needs photos of the cats, and I haven't done photos of them yet. So I could, at this point, the HOA was still going to honor their $600 agreement. So I told them, well, I need to do this because, you know, before in the past, and you requested for a bill to be paid, I needed all the cats, like details and pictures and stuff to submit. And I still have that outstanding bill with you guys. So I told her that, and she said, oh, didn't you know I'm on the board? And I said, no, I didn't. And she immediately called Anne. And I believe you told her that she could just keep the cat. And I understand the situation, I totally do. But I told, you know, I was trying to explain that, no, she can't keep the cat. We can discuss adoption later, but I do need to get the cat fixed tomorrow. The cat is in
I
my.
think, you know, and I appreciate you giving all these details. I think the learning process for everyone, me included, is that if anything like this were to ever come up again with anyone, is that there just needs to be a more clear, you know, in writing sort of, I don't want to call it contract, but that everyone is on the same page as to how this is all happening. And,
I do.
I don't think we need to talk about this any further. I think it's in the past. I'm glad you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't finished. I would like to continue. I'm sorry. I know.
Chloe,
But
just
if we're going to make it clear, I think it does need to be clear. The reason why she does not have a cat now, and I did not let her adopt out the cat, was basically because of how she acted towards me and didn't want to give the cat back to me, and basically treated me very poorly because I wouldn't let her keep the cat. And, you know, I have nothing against giving, you know, adopting cats out to people in the neighborhood, but unfortunately she thought that because she was on the board, she could do, you know, she could had some authority over what I was doing.
So since we're talking and
Chloe,
about this,
Chloe, I'm a little,
what
I'm a
about
little,
Jennifer? What about Jennifer McShane? What happened there? Because I
Yeah,
actually don't know
Jennifer,
anything.
can
other
I,
than she
can I
was
ask a
interested.
question? Can I ask
Yeah,
a question
for
first? Chloe,
Jennifer.
what, if these are all Patty's cats, why didn't Patty take care, had I known that all these are Patty's cats, that would have been awesome. We would have been helping Patty. Why didn't Patty take care of all the expenses for all these cats if they're her cats?
Because they're straight, I mean, there are strays. She cares.
That's
for
exactly
them,
what I
but
thought you
it's
would say.
because
That
the
means they're
cats-
not legally hers. They're not
Well, the
legally
cat was
hers.
born on her property, so if anyone
Doesn't
has
matter.
rights to the cats, it's her. And unfortunately, if it
Chloe,
was a clear
Chloe,
situation, I did ask Courtney that this was just to foster. If
all right. I think we have,
Hi, Chloe, you're muted.
yeah, I think we have contributed enough time to this, this issue.
I'm
And-
sorry, but I would like to respond to that.
You did?
And we're gonna go ahead and move forward. And I think if we
Right,
have.
I don't know
It was
why.
the end
it's
of
such-
our agenda.
I'm sorry?
It was the end. This was the end of our agenda.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I just,
then I'm gonna go ahead and drop off and
I don't know why you keep muting me because I'm trying to respond.
okay, and you don't get to control the HOA meeting. You are a guest here and.
I know, but if you ask me,
and-
I would like to respond.
You're being up.
You guys are just muting me. How can you do that? How can you not let people speak?
I can hear you.
Okay, well, can I please respond now?
Yeah, you get
Without
2
the
minutes. I
muting.
have to go after that, okay? Go ahead.
Yes, they are stray cats. They are primarily on Patty's property, and because they were born under Patty's house, I did feel that she had the most legal rights to it. And I really only used that because Courtney was simply shutting the door in my face and would not let me have the cat back. I think
We're hearing one side of the
understand-
story. There's clearly another side of the story that's not here to I don't want to say defend.
well, she's
herself.
on the board, so I don't understand why she's not here.
Not every board
However-
member, not every volunteer makes it to every single meeting, okay? This is an.
Well, she
urgent
did give her
volunteer organization.
point of view last,
You did as well, and I appreciate that. I think we've heard a lot of details, and I don't think we need to discuss this any further. Okay, I know you've also sent out very detailed emails to the community, and I think especially the people that have donated to your cause. Hopefully they're all clear on how this has all worked, and I think we can move forward. Okay.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Okay.
I'll be continuing just myself because unfortunately this situation has not gone well with the board and with a few neighbors that unfortunately think that because they have a position on the board or next to the board, they can control other people, just like how I'm being controlled right now by muting me. And I find that very disappointing. I mean,
Okay.
you muted Deb, and it's, I mean, you guys are on an HOA.
That's
It's
correct.
not a
And
big
we
deal.
need
You
to
don't
move
have a
on.
certain higher power than everyone else.
We need to move on, okay? There's gonna be a new board starting January 1st, and anyone who lives in the neighborhood can run for a board position, can become a board member if they get elected to do so, and we can start over with this, okay? So with that, I'm gonna end the meeting, and there will be.
Thanks, Ann.
Not sure if there'll be a meeting next month, but we'll communicate as we always do. We always communicate our meetings in advance, and there are always meeting minutes at the end. Okay, so good night,
Take care,
everyone.
Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.